Alright, welcome ladies and gentlemen. We're here today with Sylvanus. The last time I did a build video for him was probably late last year when he first came out, so it's about time I update the build video. And for those of you that are probably going to ask about what about Ravon build video, that should be coming out later this week. So just be on the lookout for that. So let's get into Sylvanus. I'm going to go over Conquest first, then some optional builds and such later on, right after that. So if you're picking up Sylvanus and Conquest as, you know, your support in the dual lane / long lane, whatever you want to call it, you have a couple options here for starting out. For start items, you definitely want to have a start item, and Conquest is definitely a must-have. And you have a couple options here. The more favored would be the Watcher's Gift. For this item, we're really looking at the gold sustain here. Being able to sustain your gold is really key for supports, right? Because they're always behind gold and XP-wise, and that will help you out in the gold department there. And of course, you have the HP and mana, you know, sustain there as well. Now, the Market Vanguard is a little bit more situational. It's more of, you know, you're either looking for early aggression, you know, just fighting early on, or you're looking to fight against an enemy Ares in your lane, which has 2 damage over time effects, and this will help sort of reduce that by quite a bit in the early game. So just going to stick with the Watcher's Gift. Going into boots now, you have a few options here. For Conquest, Traveler Shoes are really strong. The additional movement speed helps with the early ganks, just moving around the jungle faster out of combat, obviously, and also the extra gold with that and the Watcher's Gift. You're sitting fairly nicely with your gold income. Or you can go in the Shoes of Focus if you're not really worried about Traveler Shoes. You can go into Shoes of Focus just so, obviously, just the cooldown reduction. So you can get your 3 off more often, since R3 does have quite a bit of cooldown, especially in the early levels, what's like 30 seconds, things like that. So a couple options there. Now going into the core items for just supports in general, for all game modes across the board, definitely go into Sovereignty. Don't forget the Aura effect also applies to you, so you're not missing out on all that magical protections in the early stages. So Sovereignty and the Heart Ward are definitely core items to have on any support. Now in Conquest, it may change, like the meta may change around where you see more mages, like you might start seeing mages in the solo lane. That's when you definitely want to have Heart Ward. If the enemy team doesn't really have too many mages, or it's just like one mage in the middle lane and he's, you know, mediocre, not really doing so much, you can maybe skip out on Heart Ward and pick up, you know, a different item if you want. But just stick with the traditional Sovereignty and Heart Ward back to back. And then after this, you have a few options here. Naturally, you may want to go to Magus Blessing, but it's been nerfed again. This is like the second or third nerf to the Magus Blessing. Instead of 60 seconds, I believe it was, now the bubble only pops up once every 90 seconds. So with that and the price increase, it may not be favored as much as it used to be. So we'll see how that goes. But optional items would definitely be if you're fighting against multiple ADCs, like, you know, either hunters or assassins or a mix, or just really aggressive warriors. You can build into the Hide in the Meaning Lion to help counter that. Really great counter, and or the Midgardian Male. Those are a few good options there. Maybe Witchblade. The Witchblade with the recent patch did get a buff. The attack speed doesn't necessarily go all the waste. He does have a pretty cool ranged AoE attack, so I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. But if you're picking this up, you're pretty much looking at just shutting down just ADCs in general with their attack speed and physical power reduced. Winged Blade is an amazing item for, you know, just frontliners in general. It offers everything you ever want for a very low price. HP, cooldown reduction, attack speed, movement speed, and a nice immune to slows. So this is a really great item to pick up. Or if you want to make the most out of your heals, you can go into the Lotus Crown. If I can't find it, let's just type it in. There we go. Lotus Crown. This is a really good item for just healers in general, especially for Sylvanus. So you pop this, you give your allies extra protection. So in team fights, that's really useful. It's like a built-in, you know, active shell. So it's a really good item to pick up. And then let's just finish it off with, you know, whatever items, since we pretty much covered everything. Let's just buy that. Now, going into active wise, before I go into actives, the whole star item thing, you can keep it as long as you feel like. You know, you can sell it, you know, late game and fill that slot with something else. Just a bunch of situational items after the few core items here. Now going to actives, a few options here. One good active to have is the blink. So unlike some guardians where you have an initiate built into your kit, obviously Sylvanus doesn't, unless if you're really good at pulling. But if you want to just get into the team fights, you definitely want to buy blink. Don't get greater blink. Greater blink is pretty bad for being the initiator because it's 180 seconds compared to 45 seconds or even to 60 seconds. So buy blink, and that'll allow you to blink in, use your ultimate, and do your full rotation and start the team fights. And obviously in Conquest, you definitely want to have your Hand of the Gods. Right out of the gate, you want to have your Hand God 1, and then build it up to the Wrath of Gods. Around the mid game, you should have it done already. Or you can go to the Weaken and Curse. It's a slow down movement speed, so when you blink in, you can pop this, team fights, things like that. And the other optional one is the Shell. You can buy that. So that pretty much wraps it up for the build video today. If you want to learn more about supports, I would recommend checking out Incon. If you go to my my YouTube channel, and then on the right side you see the sub box of all the people that you should sub to. You'll see Incon on the bottom of the list there, and you should check them out if you want to learn more about supports. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.